Welcome to WPRP News. I'm Toby Poe.
And I'm Josie Ash. We are excited to finally be back inside the WPRP News studio and back in class.
We are less than a month into the new school year and it has been busy already. From new COVID-19 protocols and behavioral issues, we have experienced it all. WPRP reporter Zach Belly sat down with Principal Sherry Duff to discuss this year's FAR and what's ahead.
Off to an interesting start. We sat down with Ms. Duff to go over the incidents that happened, her plans for the future, and COVID. You're a new principal here. You joined halfway through last year. What's it like picking up on Ms. Sawyer left off, and how crazy has it been trying to get us back in school and ready?
It's been a wonderful experience. Of course, it's been interesting, lots of guidelines to follow. But overall, just it was great when we started the hybrid model because we got to have students in the building. But those that didn't feel safe enough could still stay home and do the virtual learning. This year, of course, everybody's come in and, you feel the energy in the hallways. And like I said, I just love being around students, so that's been very positive for me.
So we've had an eventful start to the school with people already fighting, and there was the girl passed out, and there was also a couple macings. And into our second week, we've had a couple fights and an armed weapon on the property. What do you think we could do to make the school and the students more safe and feel safer all around?
Well, first, we can't forget that students overall have not been in a school building on a regular basis for over 16 months. So we also are having to learn how to redo school. And, a lot of what has gone on in society in Louisville is now walking into our building. So the thing is for teachers and staff just to stay very observant and vigilant and learning about their students and forming those relationships so they can figure out what our students' needs are. As far as the safety issues, yes, there have been some unfortunate events, but luckily nobody has been harmed, and we have put some things in place to help alleviate those situations. 1,550 some odd students that are doing the right thing, doing what they're supposed to do to get their education. So, I think that we've had both sides. We've had parents that have reached out in great support, and we've had parents reach out and they're upset about certain things, but all we can do is keep trying to improve. We already had plans to add one security person here, and we will be interviewing for that shortly, but I've decided that I'm going to look at the budget and see if we can't procure one more security beyond that, just because we're not a school building, we're a campus, and so that makes a big difference. So, one of my goals is just to make sure that students feel safe and parents feel safe sending their students here. So that is something that we will continue to work on and hopefully improve, and just want to keep bolstering that positive image of PRP High School. Well, contact tracing is it's just that. It's having to look at every, where the student has been, who they've been near. So it is a very big task, and Ms. Lyford, our school nurse, and Mr. Stinson, and even Ms. Capo have been very diligent in trying to make sure that we are identifying the appropriate people. However, we also have to trust in our student body and the QR codes and using those on a daily basis. So there have been a couple situations where that does cause some havoc when we don't have the full information. That requires further investigation, which takes up more time and takes away from other things. So we just need everybody to be on board with following all the guidelines. But I will say overall, most everybody is wearing their mask properly. And there's only those handful that you have to keep reminding to pull it up over your nose, pull it up over your nose. So.
Now, there's a very serious vaping problem in the school and in the bathrooms. It's caused our school to lock up all the bathrooms, but that's causing a lot of inconveniences for the students having to go to the bathrooms, and I know females need to go more than males and stuff, and we have to interrupt our teachers every 10 minutes to go. How do you think we can fix that problem?
Well, first of all, we decided because of, if you remember back in the hybrid model last year, we kept those restrooms locked during transitions. So this year we were trying to leave them open and just found that just really isn't a good situation with contact tracing to begin with. So that was a main reason for going on and shutting them during transitions, and then they are locked for about the first 5 to 10 minutes of class and the last part of the class. Students then, are going back to this system we used at the end of last school year, which is to sign out with their teacher and then go use the restroom. we're not happy that that takes away from instructional time, but we also have to balance safety and security with instructional time.
All right, last but not least, what is your future? What is your vision for PRP?
My vision for PRP is to make it the best ever. It's a wonderful school, wonderful community. There are awesome students. You know, we have 1,568 students, and all of them deserve the very best from the staff here. And so just making sure that I am helping to energize the staff, energize the student body, and help everybody reacclimate to what school is. And then we need to start building on that.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
Well, anytime.
All right, we're good.
Helping to energize the staff, energize the student body, and help everybody reacclimate to what school is. And then we need to start building on that.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
The beginning of the football season did not go as planned. A majority of the football team was placed into quarantine, forcing the coaches to postpone the game against Valley to next month. WPRP reporter Damon Forsyth spoke with Coach Williams about the team's quarantine.
All right, today we are here with Coach Tommy Williams on the PRP's football team. First question I have for you is, has the COVID impacted this 21-22 season?
It's been a challenge. Probably been a little more of a challenge this year than it was last year. Last year, you knew that if anybody turned up positive, we all went home. This year, on any given day, you've got to kind of adapt to who is available and who isn't available. And with us being in the school building, it's a little bit of a challenge to make sure that everybody's following the rules and the guidelines that are put in place. But we're making it through it so far.
What's the attitude or mindset you and the team carry in the back of your mind to successful dealing with these impacts?
We started off the season with a phrase, and it was no excuses. Every day we've got excuses and reasons to be able to hang our heads or maybe pout about the weather or COVID or any other variable that may jump up in front of us. But every day, if we're losing somebody, it's time for somebody else to step up, and thus far we've done so.
What challenges do you face daily with your team when it comes down to practices and games?
The weather has been a major factor over the last 3 to 4 weeks. We've dealt with a lot of heat. We had a quarantine in between that time, and then we had storms and a hurricane come through, and so we've spent a lot of time indoors in a gym, which is absolutely having an impact on our conditioning level. But we're trying to make that a focal point so we could be prepared for Friday.
How do you feel about this year's PRP football team compared to last year's football team?
We had talent in both groups, and we did lose a couple of playmakers coming out of last season, but we feel like we've got more depth than what we have had at some of those spots. Hopefully we don't have to play a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. A lot of our opponents don't have to deal with that, but we've got enough talent to make plays everywhere. Our bigs up front are the piece that are going to take us to a new place. Offensive line-wise, we've got 5 guys that are going the right way and doing their job consistently. And then up front, we've got a couple of guys that could stop the run. That's the name of the game. You've got to be able to run the football and stop the run.
When receiving the news that your team had to quarantine week 1 of the season, how did that impact weeks 2 and win against us?
It was disappointing for guys to have to go home. You're obviously looking forward to that week 1 for the entire off season. It's something that you circle, something you have in the back of your mind. So I was really proud of our guys' ability to adapt. A couple of people were missing in action, and one specifically having to step into a critical role on a football field on a Friday night at a moment's notice. So it was a little additionally sweet headed out of Dawes last week to be able to face those circumstances, have no excuses in mind, and to go get the job done.
What are you doing as the head coach of the team to ensure the player safety day in, day in practice? And what is the goal that you have for this team within the year?
Yeah, safety is the number one priority. We want to make sure that we're not contributing to the spread of a virus. We have a strict policy while indoors of making sure that we're masked at all times. If we're in meeting rooms, we make sure that we stay the 6 feet apart. That was the policy from last year. And then when we're outside, we do get to take those masks off, but we make sure we stay moving. So we don't want to keep guys around each other for lengthy periods of time. We want to make sure that any health department CDC guideline that is out there, we are following to a T because we want to keep people safe and we want them to be able to continue playing the sport that they love. And we think that the policies that we've put in place every day are going to, lend ourselves to some success on the field. Normally dealing with the challenges of maybe injuries throughout the course of a year, or maybe just not having the talent that you hope, are the primary concerns. But how we navigate as a football team some of the logistical items is going to have an impact on our success on Friday night. So we're hoping to win each day, making sure that we out-prepare whoever our opponent is on that day with whatever circumstances we face.
A new year meant an end to NTI and non-traditional learning for all students at PRP, but as WPRP reporter Zakiya Scott found out, there is some positive lessons to be learned from virtual learning.
I'm Zakiya and I'm here with Mr. Bohannon. So last year before we quarantined the schools, what was it like setting up the Chromebooks for all the kids?
Actually, it wasn't a whole lot of setup on our part. Before the quarantine happened, Jefferson County actually came and took all of the devices that we had here in our building. It was kind of a whirlwind. We showed up, went classroom to classroom and took care of everything that we could take care of, got them in their hands. When it came around time for the next school year to begin with everybody virtual, we set up a drive-through process here at PRP, and JCPS brought in a bunch of Chromebooks for us. Some of them were our return devices and some of them were new devices that they were providing for us so that we would have them available for our students when they drove up.
What was it like this year when we opened up the schools and we have to deal with all the students, their Chromebooks and stuff?
It's definitely been an adventure. My life as the technology coordinator here, it's a little bit difficult when the school year starts anyway, just trying to get all of our staff and teachers up and running and functional. And this year on top of that, there was a need for about 600 Chromebooks to get handed out as quickly as possible too. So it was a mountain to climb, but we managed to find a way and we were able to get through it and make things happen.
How do you manage your time around the building when you have to make sure Chromebooks and stuff are working for the students?
We've set up most days that I am in the cafeteria during lunch. So if students had a problem, they could come see me there. If your Chromebook's broken or damaged, you can come and swap them out. I can give you a working one while I send that.
Here with
Malachi Ditto.
Would you say it was better through online school? Would you say in-school is better?
I would say in school is better because it was really hard to be motivated during online school because you could just get away with doing nothing.
Welcome to your WPRP weather. I'm back again with a new school year, and we're starting off on a really good note here. We're going to be in the upper 70s, low 80s for pretty much the whole week. The highest we get is going to be 85 on Tuesday. That's still not bad at all, especially compared to where we were these past couple of months. Our lows are going to be in the low 60s, high 50s for most part, exception being today. And our rain chances, not bad at all. We're gonna have some rain today and tomorrow, but after that we're looking pretty good. It's like chance on Wednesday, but we're gonna be sitting real nice in those low 80s with a low chance of rain. It's gonna feel really good out there, especially in the evening and morning hours. Something that has made national news in the weather space this past week has been Hurricane Ida, and this was a huge event, and it was for a good reason. This thing hit with 150-mile-per-hour winds at landfall. It caused over 1 million power outages, and it is the third major Louisiana hurricane since 2020. That is huge. Here's why. That happened 2 times. This is the second time that's happened. That more than one have hit Louisiana that are major, and major means category 3 or above, in the last 20 years. The only other time that's happened is in the 1800s. So that is extremely rare and significant that we get this kind of a pattern happening. And ironically, the last time this happened was Katrina. And speaking of Katrina, this made landfall on the 16th anniversary of when Hurricane Katrina did. For your WPRP weather, I'm Caleb Martinez.
With a new school year comes a new opportunity to get involved in the PRP community.
Some clubs and organizations may not be meeting just yet as we await further guidance from the school board, but we do know a few things that will be meeting starting this month.
The chess club will meet in Coach Hawk's room 314 next Thursday directly after school.
Student Council will meet next Wednesday, September 8th. For more information, see Ms. Danziger.
Any young man interested in playing basketball should plan to meet with Coach Kinley in the small gym after school on September 8th.
The National Art Honor Society will have their first meeting on Wednesday, September 15th. See Ms. Webb for more information. High school can be intimidating, especially coming out of NTI.
We spoke with a few of the members of the freshman class about their time thus far at PRP. Welcome back to WPRP. My name is Josie and I am here with
Caitlin.
And what grade are you in?
I'm 10th grade.
Okay, Caitlin, how did it feel to go from middle school NTI to go to in-person high school?
For me, it was a huge change because I went to private middle school.
Hey, this is WPRP. This is Toby. All right, who are we here with today?
All right, my name is Jackson Perry.
Jackson
I'm
Perry.
a freshman. Just got here. I'm making friends. It's fun. So.
All right, can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
All right, let's go. How does it feel to go from middle school NTI to in person?
It feels like kind of weird, but like I went to private school, so it was so small, so we got to do in person a lot. But we still did NTI. I liked NTI because it's like you can't really get in trouble like that, and it's just kind of fun. You get to stay at home, but also at the same time in person, like you get your work done easier in person, in my opinion, because you don't get distracted. So pros and cons.
Yeah, that's nice. Second question: what is the biggest adjustment you had to make from middle to high school?
In middle school, I got to I knew I had a lot of friends, so it's kind of like getting used to having to make new friends and just
Cool. All right, we're here with another freshman. What's your name?
Colton Carey.
Colton Carey. I see you're on the football team.
Sir.
Yes, sir. All right, can I ask you a few questions? All right. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge in high school?
Probably just the work, because I've been on NTI for like a year and a half now. It's just a big step, especially in person.
Good. What are you most looking forward to going into high school?
I really want to win state for football before I leave high school, and it's just a new environment, new people and stuff. It's just fun.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us for the edition of WPRP.
Have a great weekend.